Hello and welcome to our newest CHC expert interview. My name is Stephan Poschik from CHC Corporate Health Consulting, and we help you grow and scale your business. And today I have a super interesting guest, and I'm so looking forward to the next 20 to 30 minutes. And with no further ado, let me introduce you to Elona. Hello, and please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Stephan, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Elona Lopari, and founder and CEO of the Life School, where we help purpose-driven entrepreneurs and CEOs scale their purpose and profits so they can do more good in the world. And I'm very happy to be with you.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. In one of our former conversations, I saw that you are very good positioned in the marketplace. And also when I take a look at your LinkedIn profile, you have a very clear information what companies you want to work with and how you help basically your customers. So Elona, why is it so important to position yourself in the right way to be able to grow and scale as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, thank you for that. And that has come through years of experience, but also pay very close attention to the market I serve and their needs and pain points and sort of what are some of the most important priorities for them, and then being able to be in service. That's how I've always operated. So, and that's actually what I would say to answer your question as far as positioning and branding. I think it's important to understand that when we are positioning ourselves to be positioned for the one thing that is the main problem that we solve in the market, and to stay very consistent with that, keep adding value, but also stay very present, because one of the biggest challenges today is, of course, to stand out, especially if you are building a brand offline and online. It's important to be able to really develop your thought leadership, develop the unique methodologies that you have, what makes you different, what is your perspective, authentic point of view in the way that you are serving your clients, in the way that you're solving their problems, and in the way that you're adding value overall to the marketplace. Because just like anything, if growth is in your mindset, and that's something, an important value for me, improving every day, continuously improving, continuously to be there in service and always contributing to that bigger mission cause that you're after, rather than just focus on the micro level of just selling your products and services, I think really helps someone to develop the level of authority, but also very high value perception around their brand and also their products or services.
Yeah. I 100% agree. So basically what I also heard is you basically just listened a lot to the market, right? And you listened a lot to your customers. Of course, what I see in a lot of situations, especially young companies, when they are not so big or not so experienced yet, they think a lot about, okay, where is my perfect positioning? But in my opinion, just ask the market, ask your customers, and you will get so much feedback. What is the main priority? What is the most important thing they want to achieve, or you can help them with? How do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very important to be obsessed with your market rather than your products or services, because everything that I have created is come from my actions, my daily evolution of how I am always focusing on improving my service and what is it that, my ideal client is looking for. So being focused around, your client more than your product or service is just an ongoing journey. And yeah, just being very high touch with your market, and not creating out of, in a vacuum, so to speak, for the things that you want to evolve or introduce, because things change, markets mature. The behaviors of maybe your market today are not necessarily going to be the same in a year or 2 or 3. So I think adaptability and our ability to be able to evolve and be agile is also very important in business and in scaling. So those have been my perspective and my insight as well, just from my experience and all the clients that I've supported.
Yeah. No, I like this very much. So let's stay with this adaptability. So you basically help companies become more successful and grow. So where are the biggest challenges you see at the moment in the marketplace? So when we talk about the next 12 months, so pretty short time, where do you see the biggest challenges for smaller companies to achieve growth, or where should they look at?
Yeah, I love to help them scale their purpose and profit and do this a little bit non-traditional way, kind of flip the equation from what we have really traditionally known to focus on, as far as every time you scale a company, focusing on the profit piece first. But I find that when you focus on the purpose, the mission, the vision, the values first, and really have a very solid culture within your company, then the second piece becomes a byproduct. I'm not saying that obviously it doesn't need strategic focus in everything that you do within your operations, but it's just a more holistic way. And it's also another way to be able for you to be sustainable and also be in the market long term. Speaking of answering back to your question, I think one of the biggest challenges now is, again, agility. Things are changing fast, climate conditions, industry conditions, economy trends. So I think it's important for companies to, again, be very high touch with their clients, figure out where are their pain points, how is it that they can adapt their business model to meet the needs of their clients at the highest level, because maybe something that was working for you as far as your business model is no longer sustainable. Because again, right now we are moving into a more mature market, and also the other climate conditions don't favor businesses. So again, being agile and being adaptable, I think is really important. But also at the end of the day, understanding that this is really just the cycles of business, right? And understanding where you are in your growth cycle of business, because I've seen this over and over again, that companies solve the wrong problems for the wrong stages of growth. When you have a cash flow problem, that's the focus and the way you want to problem solve that problem. When you are over that, then the next problem becomes scaling, optimizing your operations, creating the right systems and structures into place, and then hiring the right people or expanding your team and retaining your team. So the focus is different depending on where you are in the level and stage and phase of your business growth.
Yeah. We see this also in huge corporations, not just in the small ones. So one of my companies is a consulting service company where we help basically corporations, corporate groups improve employee engagement, strengthen productivity, and improve corporate and leadership culture. So we see exactly the same thing there, why purpose and also the vision is so important, because they cannot hire great talent anymore if they are not able to communicate a great purpose or a great vision from this company, because just a paycheck is not enough anymore to get great talent into a company. And in my personal opinion, and also in my personal experience, the smaller the company gets, the more important it is, because when you hire your first, second, third employee, probably in most situations, you cannot pay a lot like massive tech corporations or something like that. So why should people work for you if you do not have an awesome vision, an awesome purpose, a great commonality where you can work on a common goal together?
Yeah, and I think growth, I've seen two things also from my very long HR experience in corporate. People are always looking for contribution towards something bigger than themselves, and then growth. If those two things are not part of your culture and the way that you're growing, wherever you are in the journey, I find that talent will be attracted to a company if they see potential, right? If that aligns with where they're also going personally. So it's no longer one of those things that we shove around, underneath the carpet and be like, well, we'll worry about the personal stuff after. I think it's important, even in the recruitment process, to be able to connect the vision of your particular team member that you're about to hire to where you are and where you're going and where they want to go as well. Because again, it's people are more aware, they have more education, they have, more opportunities. So, all of this brings about everyone has to level up, which is a good thing because, we're all rising and evolving together.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. So do you experience sometimes clients or potential clients who say, yeah, no, I actually don't want to grow too fast. I don't want to grow too big, where they are literally afraid of growth?
Yeah, that's a common fear, actually. And you wouldn't think that because most people like, okay, growth, make more profit, make more money. Because most entrepreneurs that started any business, it's because of the freedom and the fact that they want to do things their own way or solve things uniquely in their own way or do work that it's meaningful for them. But that's usually fear, right? Fear of responsibility, fear of now, the more things, the more scale, the more impact, the more problems, the more things that can go wrong, right? The more exposure to things that could be positive and negative. So, and fear of success, some of that is personal fears, right? Fear of success. That's actually something that, for me personally, was always very alive. So, being very aware around the fear of success, and usually companies start to self-sabotage. They think small, they stay small, they're like, okay, well, we're fine this way. I'm happy with, being where I am. I'm comfortable, I am meeting my needs, and then kind of just settle. And it's all, personal fear and also lack of maybe skills, right? And lack of talent, the right people that are able to support, because obviously you're going to need new things or new ways of thinking and new ways to make decisions if you're going to go to the next level, which is probably a scary level for you if you've never been there before. So it's psychology mixed with strategy, mixed with education, mixed with resources as well, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So again, back to these next 12 months, where do you see the biggest opportunities for small companies or entrepreneurs at the moment? So where should they focus on? What about technology? What about AI? Should they use it already? What's the biggest three things you think everybody should be aware of and should use, where the biggest opportunities lie?
Yeah, I think it's back to what you're saying, how to adapt with where we're heading in the future. We all don't have a crystal ball, but a lot of us are skilled and have a lot of experience, and surround yourself with experts, right? Where are we heading? Where is society heading in the next couple of years? If you can obviously anticipate some of those things, then that will help you make decisions that will be innovative for your company, which can keep you very competitive also in the present moment. So I think that's one. The other one is just embrace technology. It's not going anywhere. And then align your business model with technology and think ahead of the curve, because a lot of companies now are afraid to even pivot their business models, because even in our industry with coaching and consulting, we might need to pivot our business models, because maybe some of the things that have needs that have been met by business models, with humans before, could, be replaced with technology. But there's always ways to be able to make our business model better so that it's offering a bigger transformation for our potential clients. Because at the end of the day, I mean, the human touch is always the highest touch that all of us would want. So yeah, not to be afraid to optimize our business model based on the needs. And if we can anticipate where we're going, you'll be ahead of the curve, and you'll be making decisions that are very strategic, but also very aligned with the future. And that will help you stand out and thrive and not just survive through some of these tough economic times.
Yeah, definitely. So I heard a great saying a couple of weeks ago where somebody said, hey, don't fear AI, that they take over your job. If you want to fear somebody who takes over your job, is fear the people who are able to use AI. Why? Okay, because they are so much more productive. They can bring so much faster and better results to the marketplace or also to the customer. And I mean, we are using AI since the beginning of 2023. And we have tremendous time savings, for example, in corporate projects or project assistance, where we can reduce repetitive tasks to a minimum, just implementing AI. And I mean, okay, why not use things like that? And you can decide if you hand the advantage over to your customer, so it basically gets cheaper for the customer, or the customer pays the same and your profit margins increase massively, which is basically what we do. So, I mean, we deliver the same value, the same results, or even better or faster results to the customers. So basically, they have a huge advantage, and we can charge the same, but we don't use as much time, effort behind the scenes. So how are you using, for example, AI in your business to support your coaching and consulting business?
Yeah, exactly. So again, just like anything, as a leader, you can operate on fear or you can operate on opportunity. And just like anything new in our societal evolution, you know, everything new is always scary and it will come with side effects, right? Old positions will be eliminated, just like anything, but then always new things will be created, right? Because as we're all evolving and going through this together. So just like you said, for myself as well, I've been able to implement a lot of that in my operations, especially. I always look at things that, you know, operationally are rinse and repeat processes and systems that can be, obviously AI can be utilized from CRM to prospect journeys to marketing messages without obviously losing authenticity. Research, I love AI for research because again, it saves so much time to be able to research things that you need. And just like day-to-day operational things that, again, if I'm able to utilize that, then why not? Because then I can put my resources on the right thing and also level up my team to be able to think more creatively and strategically, which is what's going to, you know, grow where I am. You know, my reach and my impact as well overall. So yeah, it's just reprioritizing the way that we've been doing things, but always think in that process, systematized, rinse and repeat way when you're at scale, because that's the only way you can scale anyway, right? The only way to scale is if you can streamline and simplify a lot of your business models and your operations. So definitely many opportunities for AI to be implemented, and you know, slowly but surely. I'm also, and I was always a pioneer. Everything I've always done, because to me, it's always, I see opportunity. I guess we get trained as entrepreneurs to always look at the positive and the opportunity in things rather than the, you know, the downside of things. So with experience, you become better at that, right? Understanding how to make more strategic decisions. But yeah, overall, it's an opportunity and it's here, and we can't go backwards. So we can only move forward with it.
Yeah, 100% agreed, of course. Yeah. So in all these situations, or for all these topics we basically talked about the last 15 minutes, why is a coach or a consultant so important in your personal opinion?
Yeah, I mean, it's someone from the outside, first of all, bringing in new perspective that you might not have, bringing in new information, new experience that you might not have. It might be a great complementary person for what you already have built inside your company. And it could be somebody that has already solved the pain problem or the pain point that you are experiencing. So just like anything, I think the more you're at scale, the more you understand your time is very important. And if you know how to use money as a tool, eventually that usually becomes the next challenge. So you can buy back a lot of your time. So a consultant or a coach, someone, again, that is an expert at what they do, and they could solve the problem faster, saving you money, making you money, and then buying back you time, but also making you money, are all great ROIs. So yeah, those, I would say that those would be the things that you want to look at when you're making a decision whether, okay, bring in someone from the outside. I've also learned, just like with parenting, and anyone is a parent, you know, because we have an emotional connection with our team members inside our companies, it is so much easier to bring someone from the outside and to kind of just take a look at those maybe opportunities in your culture or gaps in your performance that maybe your leaders or your leadership team or you are just kind of just day-to-day operations. You're kind of blind. You have a lot of blind spots because you don't see what you don't see, because you're inside the thing and you're emotionally invested. But when someone from the outside can come in it just, helps with engagement, speaking of that, and helps with productivity, because now we have like new energy, a new perspective, fresh things that we can implement, and it can liven up a lot of your culture as well. So yeah, those are some things I've seen that are great ROIs, direct ROIs for bringing in someone from the outside.
Yeah, that's really cool. A former coach of myself always said, hey, you don't know what you don't know. And when I heard this the first time, I needed to think about it because it was a long time ago. I was not so experienced, and I was thinking, okay, what do you mean with that? But actually, for sure, every entrepreneur will experience a lot of situations they just never thought about because they were not at this growth level or this revenue level or this pace level or whatever. Yeah, and I really like this. I really like this saying, you don't know what you don't know it. That's also one of the things you mentioned. Okay, you have these blinders and you are so involved in the business that you just miss certain things inside your business, which is super obvious for an external expert like you and me, but for the internal organization, they just overlook it or just don't think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and one last thing that I just got reminded as you're saying that, it's also cost efficient for most companies, depending on where you are. Maybe you're not at the level where you're at that corporate level where you already have a lot of these structures and departments already kind of just structured out. I mean, just bringing someone from the outside can save you so much more money. And there's a direct, they add value right away, right? There's a direct ROI to that. And sometimes, when you don't have these budgets to bring in executives or advisors at those high levels, this could be a great option for some companies as well.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you, or how do you handle people who say, yeah, I know what a coach is doing. I know all these things. I can handle this on my own. I was in corporate America 20 years. I know how to deal with employees and all these things. So what or how would you handle a concern like that or somebody like that?
Seems like someone like that is closed off, right? They're not problem aware or solution aware. So in that case, I just listen for opportunities. I add my, whatever I think will add value. And then I just keep the conversation going and I stay as a resource until someone can see the value of that, right? So, but yeah, I mean, we've all been there. I think that's more ego-driven stuff where like, I know it all, right? I mean, I've been there, done that, done all the things. But just like the other saying that I've learned over the years is if you just keep doing the same thing and you'll be getting the same results. So, I mean, if you're happy, great, good for you if it's working for you. But if it's not, maybe there's some new things that we could take a look at that might be holding you back. So just building trust. I think trust is very important, especially with someone that's not, that's closed off, that they don't always see the opportunity, because we've all been there. We kind of just maybe are frustrated from past experiences and we just kind of, close off to new opportunities. It's all human things. So I think just being aware, staying empathetic, listening, and always, offering value. It's always my ways to be able to still be there for when someone, can, however I can support in whatever way.
Yeah, I like this very much. So I could go on and on and on, and I'm sure also our listeners want to know much more. But so what is the best way to connect with you when somebody wants to reach out to you or probably even work with you? What's the best way to connect with you, Elona?
Yeah, likewise. We have good synergy because we do a lot of the similar work that we do. So I think LinkedIn would be the next best logical step. Elona Lopari, I'm on there. They can connect there, or they can go to my website, elonaloparicoaching.com, and they could check out some free resources that I have put together. If they maybe, enjoyed this conversation, or they're kind of just want to stay connected beyond this interview and this podcast.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. So we are going to post this also when we launch the video and the interview, basically. So Elona, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It was super important and super interesting already for me. And I'm looking forward to whatever next conversation we will have. And I'm sure the people got a massive value out of it. Thank you for that.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And yeah, to all of you listeners out there, connect with Elona, connect with her, connect with her, connect with her, go to her webpage, download the free resources, what you mentioned. I already saw some of them. They are super, super helpful. So just use what you heard and just implement what you heard. And guess what? We are here to help you. And I wish you a lot of success and a great entrepreneurial journey. Thanks for now and bye for now.